ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Welcome to our weekly chit chat and meditation, and a special welcome to all those who are joining us from different parts of the world. Um, Thank you for supporting us and being part of this state of conscious evolution. Approaching post midsummer, things are starting to get a bit hot in terms of weather, and we will expect this anger that has been generated a few weeks back will also begin to take a new shape and perhaps even rise even further. So, where are we? How can we approach this? What are the likely outcomes in the next few weeks, few months of the current state? So, by looking at the current circumstances, we can identify the possible outcomes of the current circumstances. And you've got to ask yourself, just look at the last 4 months, last 4 or 5 months since February, how you have been played, how everyone's been isolated, everyone's been putting into states of panic, fear. You can't see your friends, you can't see your family, you can't even touch each other. You have to distance from each other. You can't go out, you can't go to work, you can't go to your places of worship, your holy places. You can't congregate. Even now, you can't congregate. And then all of a sudden, we're all thrown into these crowds, these protests of anger, these protests of rage against the injustice that we witness around the world. And you've got to ask yourself, it seems a little bit strange, does it not? That one moment everyone is isolated, and the next moment everyone's in, also a huge number of people are in huge crowds around the world. It's a very sudden change, is it not? Or am I just the only one seeing this because I'm paranoid? You've got to ask yourself, what next? They've tried panic. And I will say this categorically, you are all being programmed, we are all being programmed through frequencies, through our devices, and through the media, through subliminal messages that make us react in certain ways and not act in certain ways. These frequency generated weapons, they are really bioweapons, are certainly being, we can assume. And why can we assume that they are being used is simply because the reaction of general population. And the general population is afraid. The general population is, even though the lockdown seems to have eased, there's very little economic activity. So it looks like we are going towards a global economic reset. We will expect at some stage stock markets to start taking a bit of a dive. And all of this is manipulation. It's not natural, it's manipulation. And the question you have to ask yourself, why? Why is there is so much effort being generated in order to create these mass hypnotic states? And that's all it is. This word Maya that is used within Indic thought, which has been mistranslated as illusion, it's only illusion. Something is only an illusion if it's in your mind. It is only the mind that can determine whether something is real, meaning it's substantial, or it's something that's illusionary. And so this programming is a programming of your ego, my ego. And the ego is being separated through differentiating with skin color, differentiating whether you're male or female, whether you're a Tory or Labour, whether you're pro-vaccinations, anti-vaccinations, whether you think the coronavirus scam is a scam or it's a real pandemic. Uh, if you look at it, the whole thing is divide, 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 divide. And if you are divided, you will not find peace. You will not find peace. The question I asked was, why is it so important for someone or something to maintain this division? And the reason it's important is because as long as you're divided, as long as your ego has been threatened, and now our egos are in threat because people are concerned about their economic functions, their job securities, their mortgages, whether they're going to get ill if they go shopping, if they hug their loved ones. All of this fear maintains a very, very low energy. It's a very low vibration, very low frequency. And if you're in fear, it's very easy to manipulate you. And we spoke about this months ago, that fear is one of the easiest things to use in order to manipulate either an animal or a human being. Although most human beings, as we see around us, have yet to realize what it means to be human. They're still in their kind of states of just a clever mammal. So our changes that are happening at the moment are being induced. We are being programmed, or many of us are being programmed, and the programming is all to create division on every single space. Now, this division will also move forward where we are divided between whether we should take vaccinations or not vaccinations, because trust me, you can see as right as rain, just give it a few months, we will be compelled, we will be pushed into a situation where we have to consider, do we take this or don't we take this? And I feel that will be the fatal blow. Once we have taken that step, there is no turning back. Really, there is no turning back. Why? Because what is used in these so-called life-saving vaccinations, most people have absolutely no understanding of the chemistry behind it. They have no understanding of the ingredients around it. Don't even realize how these ingredients, when mixed together, react with the body. So the fact that people want to believe the scientists, the same scientists at Imperial University who predicted that there would be, I don't know, 500,000 people dying, etc., who was caught. The one whose work initiated the lockdown was caught with his mistress, or breaking the lockdown to go and see a friend or a colleague or mistress or whatever the mainstream media wanted to label that. The point I'm trying to make is science is only as good as the scientist. And if the scientist has been influenced and the scientific research is being funded by anyone, then whoever the funder is influences which way the science goes. So the pandemic or the scandemic, the fear mongering, now the anger, we are being programmed. We are being divided. We are being placed in categories. So we separate from one another. We separate from ourselves. We separate. And once we are separated from one another, it is so much easier to maintain conflict between each other, conflict between different groups, conflict different ideologies. And as we create these conflicts, all we're doing is harming us and harming really anything, if we leave anything decent for our children or grandchildren or future generations. So this really is a biblical time, so to speak. It's a biblical time because it is a time for you and I and everyone else to use their critical thinking and to make the decisions that they feel are those decisions which are to do with integrity, which are to do with human dignity, life, dignity about life. It's not all lives matter. The dignity for life matters. Life is something to be revered. It is not something to be thrown under a bulldozer. Life is something to, to allow one another to flourish, not to destroy and burn and control and captivate and suppress one another. So life is something, and this is the transition we're going through. Now, I how are we programmed? Well, we're programmed through this lens that we call the ego, because this is, you're not born with an ego. Your ego is created. Normally, it's created firstly by your parents, by your schools. They play a huge role in this. Education systems, and then the religious guys come in, and these guys really mess you up. And all they're doing is creating a duality in you. They're creating a division in you. In fact, you are being prevented from learning what is really the essence of existence and yourself, and you are being taken down a road which first creates a sense of identity called ego. Then everything that you read, everything that you see, reinforces that. Reinforces that. It's all about you because you're worth it. It's all about you. It doesn't matter about anyone else. No, life doesn't work like that. We're all interconnected. We are all interrelated. The breath that I breathe out is the breath that is used by all that is green around me. So this interconnection, why is there so much emphasis in order to break this, in order to create this division? And the only conclusion I can come up with my own deductive reasoning, investigation, research, download, spiritual understanding, etc., is there's something quite significant, I would say enormous, that is about to take place, which is why this group of individuals that we have unwittingly placed in positions of power and authority have been infiltrated by a particular mindset which is being used against humanity. Why? Because they are afraid. There is some group that is actually in a state of panic, and hence we will go through panic, which is the pandemic, scandemic, the anger, which is to do with the protests and the racial tensions and the police brutality, the anger, and there is something now coming. So if you look at it, we went fear, we went anger. So what are the likely emotions that are likely to be initiated and triggered within you? Well, there could be awe. There could be it's the second phase of the pandemic, which is to bring about extreme fear. Maybe shame and guilt to do with the religious organizations that people have been supporting, and then discovered not just the religious organizations, but the political and the politicians have all been, or certainly not all, but a majority of them have been engaged in what you might consider practices which are dark, which are destructive, which feed of humanity, which exploit life, which in other words, you could call it satanic, you could call it, and I don't mean this in the nice, in a pagan way. What I'm talking about here is a mindset that is that feeds of cruelty. It's a mindset that feeds of control and manipulation of another. It is that mindset, that parasitic mindset, that is now panicking and inducing these whole waves of emotional triggers, such that we keep engaged in those emotional triggers. And as long as we're engaged in those emotional triggers, well, your frequencies are very low. The changes that we are going around in terms of cosmic changes to do with energies, new types of energies that are flowing through, will not impact you the same way as they will impact those who are outside this prison of emotions. So the way forward in this is, first, remember that you are being deceived. You are being deceived. You cannot believe anything out there anymore. You are being deceived. You've been deceived and you are being deceived. And you will be deceived. And this deception is is coupled with division to divide you from one another, to divide you from knowing what is right and what is wrong. So, as I said a few months back or a few weeks back, see everything, listen to everything, believe nothing. Do not give your focus on anything. Look at those things which are right, which are productive, which are peaceful. Focus on that stuff. Do not believe in anything that you see out there. Trust your intuition. See everything, hear everything, believe nothing. Certainly do not believe the scientist or the so-called scientist. And I speak as a scientist. I am not someone who does not realize the rigor of good quality science. I have spent many years of my life as a scientist, and I can say to you that most of the science there, like some of the science that the Lancet has been publishing in terms of some of the drugs that were used in the pandemic, that they were ineffective, well, it turned out to be wrong. Why? Because if you follow the researchers, you will always find that there are those who are funding it, and guess who are normally funding it? It's the pharmaceuticals, it's the politicians. If it's to do with a protest, it's definitely the politicians. If it's to do with health, it is definitely to do with the pharmaceuticals. If it's to do with food, then you have to look deeper into the farming sector. So all of this stuff will start emerging over the next few weeks, as we've told you before, that after the end of June onwards, the energy is very different, and there is much yet to come to our awareness, much exposure to come to us, and this exposure may increase huge amounts of anger, but it's important for you not to engage. Disengage from this pantomime. Disengage. Make a deliberate decision that I see it, but I'm not engaged in it. It's like a show. Just do not engage in it, and you will thank yourself in months to come. Those who are engaged in it will be used against themselves, will be manipulated, and will be used to destroy others. And those who will be used will be the ones who are caught in the prison of their emotions, their ego, and the emotions that will be the most prominent now are likely to be, again, anger, fear, and perhaps guilt and shame. Once we realize what these religious institutions have been about, and we realize that we may have been inadvertently supporting them, then obviously there is a lot that we will feel remorse about. Time to give that yourself, not time for you to let go of that. Humanity did what it felt was right for it. We don't stick to the past. The moment you drop the past, you are free of the past. So the time has come, not that we just drop the past, but we drop this pantomime that's going around it, or our engagement in it. Let it carry on. Let it do its thing. Get yourself some popcorn. Sit down. Enjoy the show. Watch people freak out. Watch people panic. Watch people, try and destroy themselves. It's not your problem. Your problem, my problem, is first to resolve ourselves, to maintain. If people want to discuss, open discussions, critical thinking, do your own research. And this is how we build our internal strength in terms of our mind. And as far as our moving beyond the sense of ego, well, there is only one cure for that, and that is going within. And the only way to go within is through meditation. So we touch our source and we realize, in fact, we are all part of the same ocean. We are infinite number of waves, and there are waves upon waves, and all of us are part and parcel, like everything else, just part of this one ocean. And that ocean is consciousness, that ocean is existence, that ocean is silence, That ocean is stillness. That ocean is you. So, my friends, let us now begin to move from the wave to the ocean and see if we are blessed enough to experience what we consider to be the essence of ourselves, that which is beyond the mind, beyond the sensations, beyond the emotions, just awareness. When you're ready, stretch your back, pull your shoulders back a little bit, close your eyes and close your mouth. And as you breathe in, becoming aware of yourself. Our attitude, as we spoke of last week or a couple of days ago, can be charged with gratitude. So let us just go with our body. Let us sense our body. Notice how your body is held in place, bringing your focus to the seat you're on. From the sensations where your body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on, notice them. Bring your focus upwards. From your hips, move this down to your thighs. From your knees, move down to your ankles. Coming to your feet. And then finally, the soles of your feet, as best as you can. Don't stress, don't strain. Bring your focus back to the chair or the floor you're sitting on. Bring your awareness back to the sensations. Move your focus upwards. So you come to your lower back. Spend time noticing the sensations that are there. Next breath in, bring your focus up towards your middle back. Next breath in, bring your focus up to your shoulder blades and your shoulders. From your shoulders, move your focus down to your elbows. From your elbows, move your focus to your wrists. From your wrists, move your focus to the palms of your hands. And finally, the fingers on your hands. Move your awareness towards your eyes. Notice your eyes are closed. And they close gently. Notice how your eyelids feel relaxed. No strain on them. Bring your focus to the awareness of darkness. Allow this part of the body to soften. Take your awareness to your tongue. Notice if it's soft or firm, allow it to soften. Notice the sensations on the surface of your tongue. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth, on the insides of your cheek. Allow your face to relax and soften. Once again, as you draw a deep breath in, bringing your focus to your body. Time to acknowledge this wonderful thing called the body. how it functions automatically, how it knows when it's hungry, how it knows to release a particular hormone at a particular time, to produce enzymes and acid to digest your food, and then to use all that broken food into little chemicals and pack it into your cells, how the nervous system is wired within you, and this whole body that you have, a gift that you got without asking. Take a moment to appreciate your body, a moment to notice that you are in fact alive. Now bring your focus towards your chest. Notice how you feel, happy, unhappy, pleasant, unpleasant, comfortable, uncomfortable, stressed, unstressed, settled, unsettled. What do you feel in the moment of now? On your next breath out, open your awareness, begin to listen to the sounds around you. And we're going to follow the sound of this bell and allow our awareness to completely shift away from the sensations and the thoughts and merge into the silence. And again, just notice how every bell just takes you so much deeper. Notice the peace, notice how you feel, what your experience is. And then when you're ready, slowly bringing your focus just beneath your nose, drawing a slow, deep breath in and relax. Now hold your focus just beneath the nose. Your commitment is to hold your focus beneath your nose and watch the breath. And your intention is just to be present. And to be present is simply to be present to what is happening right now. Stay with your breath. Whenever you find that your focus has drifted, distracted by a sound or a thought or a sensation, notice the distraction, come back to your breath, allow your breath to breathe by itself, reminding yourself that your commitment is simply to stay with your breath. Notice the length of the in-breath as it comes in. Notice the length of the out-breath as it goes out. Noticing the length of the in-breath as it comes in. Noticing the length of the out-breath as it goes out. Allowing the breath to breathe by itself. Stay with your breath. In today's meditation, we're going to explore being present as best as we can. Stay with your breath. Now bring your focus to your out breath in particular. Follow it all the way till the end until you note exactly when it finishes. Allowing every out breath to move you deeper and deeper into this moment. Stay with your breath. Following your out breath all the way till the end. Notice how you're breathing now. Let us investigate some of the qualities of our breath. Does the breath feel long or does it feel short? Does your breath feel fast or does it feel slow? Does your breath feel smooth or does it feel rough? Stay with your breath. Notice how the breath breathes by itself. Does your breath feel cold or does it feel warm? Does the in-breath feel the same as the out-breath? Does your breath have a sound? Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Does your breath have a sound as it comes in and as it goes out? Listening. Notice that the breath as it comes in has a start, a middle, and end. And the breath that goes out has a start, a middle, and end. In other words, the present moment is always in a constant process of change. While the breath is moving and changing, notice that you, who is observing the breath, appears to be the same. And it flows by itself. Notice how the breath flows by itself. On your next breath out, expand your awareness, becoming aware of your whole body. Notice how the breath is related to the body. Without this body, you would have no breath, and without breath, you would have no body. Interdependent. And this body, just like the breath, is in a constant state of flow and change. Embedded in the present moment, embedded in wherever you are. As existence changes, you change with it. You have no choice. No one has. Becoming aware of your body as best as you can. And now, on your next breath out, open your awareness once again beyond the body. Begin to listen to the sounds that are around you. There are sounds which are further away. And all these sounds can only become present if they are embedded in silence. So if you follow the sound of this bell, you will notice that all the sounds are contained in the silence at the end of this bell. And again. Allow yourself to completely let go and merge in the silence at the end of the third bell. This vast silence is the ocean with all little waves. The silence and the stillness is the ocean of emptiness, the ocean of infinite possibilities. This moment of this silence in this ocean, beyond fear, beyond anger. Simply presence, not even present moment, but presence itself. And this presence can merge with the ocean's presence itself. Savor the stillness, the sweetness, the wholeness, and the oneness. When we merge within the ocean, we realize there are no differences between us. We realize we are no different from the source itself. There is no need for religions, there is no need for politics, there is no need for any other. For the time has come for us to find our inner home. For nothing else will provide you with satisfaction. Take this moment to appreciate the experience you're having. On your next breath in, bring your focus back to your body. Notice how your body feels. Bring your focus now to your breath. Notice how your breath feels. You have sensations that go from your body, from where you're sitting to your thighs, all the way down to your legs and your feet. Sense your legs and your feet. Notice that the back is still straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed and comfortable. Eyes are still closed, mouth is still closed. Face is relaxed. What a joyous moment to be present. As the breath goes in, as the breath goes out, notice you can sense your body. Take this moment to appreciate the time you've taken and given to yourself. Cultivate peace, sacredness, and strength. Just the intention to smile fills the body and joy. That's who you are. You are the expression of joy, love, and more. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, gently bringing back your focus to yourself, and take your time. Wait till the bell has finished. Welcome back. Thank you for sharing that sacred space. Remember, there's a lot of deception going on. And if you know there is deception going around, you can be aware of it, and that is your protection. Do not be divided. Do not be deceived. Trust your intuition. May existence bring us back and we see each other soon. Be safe. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki. Thank you.